Is Nosferatu a gothic horror masterpiece or just a beautiful looking film with nothing new to say? Let's talk about it. When you really think about it, this is a gothic love story about an old vampire dude who is overly infatuated with a married woman. This movie made me have the most conflicting feelings after I left the theater. On one hand, I absolutely love the visuals and certain aspects of the film, but on the other hand, it's just another horny vampire movie with nothing new to say. So let's talk about the positives first. The visuals of this movie are amazing. In the looks department alone, it's a 9 out of 10. Crafting such a beautiful gothic style where almost every frame is stunning to look at. The acting performances by most of the cast were very well done. Some standouts being Lily Rose Depp and also Nicholas Hoult. Lastly is how they go about showing Nosferatu in this film. The use of his shadows in this movie, him hiding in the shadows, or just the silhouette of him alone, and only getting glimpse of him throughout most of the movie was very well done. But that's where my praises come to an end, so let's talk about my negatives and some problems I have with the movie. Starting with the story, I've seen many vampire films and takes on this sort of story before. This is not the type of film that can cover up a mediocre story with some great action and it still be enjoyable. This heavily relies on its story, but what we get isn't anything new to the story or unique. At times, the pacing is a crawl while we chew up set pieces and scenery. Sometimes it feels more about a story about a plague than a movie about a vampire. I also felt myself not really caring about any of the characters. They really gave me nothing to hold on to. Let's talk about the main man, Nosferatu, aka Count Orlok. To be honest, I'm not a really big fan of his new look. He has this ginormous Stalin-like mustache, and his voice is super slow and breathy. Sure, he's a very large man with a cool sounding voice, but the amount of time it takes him to get a sentence out was my problem. He is also a sight for sore eyes. Sure, Nosferatu in the other movies is just a pale, bald vampire, but in this movie, he is decaying and gross looking, and he has a really bad comb over. Now, this wouldn't be all that bad if this was his disguise when he's Count Orlok, and then he changes into more of a cool looking vampire when he is donning his Nosferatu or normal self, but that's not the case. The problem with this movie is it just goes through the motions and I feel no really emotion to anything. Sure, what I'm seeing looks great, but do I care about any of these characters? Not really. Eggers really needs to work with a writer who can really elevate his visual style, which he does excellent, and add more emotion to his story and characters. You can craft the most beautiful looking movie, but I need that emotional connection to care about what I'm watching. Parts of me wants to give this movie an 8 and the other half of me wants to give it a 6. So that's why I give this movie a 7.5 out of 10 for now. If you guys like this review, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more, hit that follow button. And as always, thanks for watching.